This actually blew my mind. At 36, I was told I had leukemia, but I did not. I talk about that in a couple of my videos that I've done so far, so I'm going to link probably one up above and probably one at the end of this video, so be sure to check that out. If you are a woman that's around or over 30 years old, and you are tired of being misdiagnosed, mistreated, or medicated without any real answers, this video is for you. I'm going to go ahead and share with you 2 stories that have changed how I see our healthcare system. I now take personal responsibility for my own health, and I help others to do the same. If you are of like mind and you like what you're hearing so far, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Like the video, ask any questions in the comments. I appreciate that very much. All right, so the first story is about frequent UTIs. This was something that I went through about 2 years before I finally figured out I had perimenopause. I was getting UTI after UTI after UTI, and I finally told my doctor, you know, I'm not going to keep taking these antibiotics. At the time, he was telling me, you may need to watch the detergent you're using. You might need to watch how tight your jeans are. You might need to check your partner and make sure he's being clean. Like all of these things. And finally I was like, you know what, he doesn't know. He doesn't know why I keep getting these. Nobody said anything about perimenopause. Not anybody that I knew, not the doctor. So I had to take responsibility for myself, because one thing I wasn't going to do is continue to take antibiotics and take creams and, you know, just keep the cycle going. I mean, the man even told me not to take a bath because, you know, the water that could get up in the vaginal area and cause UTIs. Like, I was like, you're just telling me anything, doctor. You're just telling me anything. Oh my goodness. So if you can relate, tap that button, hit the like button for me. So of course now, after the fact, not then, but now I know that because of the hormonal changes that we have when we start perimenopause, we have thinning vaginal walls going on, so that of course our pH balance is going to get off, and it's going to cause us to have frequent UTIs. And what I figured out then and what I know now is that when we have things like this happening, UTIs, you know, different symptoms that they dismiss or don't look at during perimenopause, when we have this come up, it's our body telling us something's wrong. We need to start to look at what those symptoms are, and not just getting some type of prescription to help us cover it up, because it's going to come back if it's an issue that we need to really look at. Or they're going to try to keep us on the pill for indefinite amounts of time. Like, I don't know how many times this man was going to give me antibiotics for UTI. Like, he had already, I'm telling you, probably it was like 3 or 4. I know it was at least 3 times, but it might have even been a 4th time before I finally said, you know what, I'm not going to keep doing this. Because in the beginning, it was like I'd have one, and then it'd be a month or so later, I'd get another one. And then a month or 2 later, I might get another one. And then the last time when I finally woke up and said, no, I'm not going to keep doing this, is when I had it back to back. As soon as I finished the antibiotics, I, boom, got it again. It's like, no. So it's key for us to start paying attention to those symptoms and figuring out what's really going on, because what we don't want to do is continue to take any type of prescription that's got chemicals that isn't good for us, or that's killing our flora in our bodies. We really do need to work on understanding what's really happening, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead into the second story. At this time, again, I still didn't know I was perimenopausal, but years later I found myself being very tired, you know, brain fog. I was emotionally all over the place. One minute I could be, you know, just fine. The next minute I'm crying over Oprah shows or yelling at my children for something very small. During this, I was still going to doctors at this point. And this was one of the last times though. I think that shortly after this is when they misdiagnosed me with leukemia, so I was done after that. But I did go to the doctor when I was getting dizzy and, you know, just emotionally all over the place. And of course, he wanted to give me antidepressants. And because I was at that place in what I had been dealing with, I was not willing to take any more pills. Like, I wasn't going to take any more. I hadn't at this point. Whenever I would get a cold or anything like that, I was totally already handling that with things like oregano oil or echinacea. I wasn't doing any Tylenol or ibuprofens of any kind. At the beginning of my journey of not doing medications at all, like I am today, like it's been over 20 years since I've taken anything like that. I don't do any over-the-counter either. Because why? Because I've learned that we have so many good herbs out there that we can take for pain. Yeah, there's stuff like white willow or curcumin, turmeric. There's so many different things, like, so when I do get things that I need to take something for, it's not a prescription. It's not an over-the-counter. I do not frequent any of the pharmacies around. So the main point here is that it's time that we stop normalizing misdiagnosis. It's time that we stop letting them play with us. Oh, this medication doesn't work? Well, let's try this one. That needs to cease because it's not good for us. It's not good for our liver. It's not good for our bodies. I'm at that place where I didn't want to take any more pills. That's not what I was going to do. We all know the irritability, mood swings, emotional crashes. We know now, and we've known those are common menopause symptoms. And my doctor still wasn't telling me it was menopause or perimenopause. So let's talk about what helped. It's known as the miracle tree or the tree of life. It's Moringa. It's such a good tree. Every part of it you can have. It's got these long green pods on it that have these really good seeds inside that are good for digestion. Can't say enough about it because it's good for so many things. So it got me straight with my moods. It got me good with my energy. My energy was off the chain. Like within 3 days of me taking Moringa by capsule form, I felt so much better. My mental was good. It did balance my hormones out. Clarity was good. Focus was good. You can get this in a tea. You can get it in capsules. You could even take it by powder. However, I do suggest the capsule that I'm gonna link below is pretty pure, and I would like to recommend it to you as something you can take. Now, I will go ahead and put a disclaimer out on this right now because I am not a doctor, of course you know. I am, however, someone that is kind of done with the healthcare system because of all the things that I've gone through with misdiagnosis. I will link it below, but I want you to know it is something that you want to do your own research on, especially if you're taking other medications. All right, so that's it for today's video, and I want to ask again if you would subscribe and like and even comment, share your story with us. If you have ever been misdiagnosed or mistreated or given medications without any real answers, share with us. Let's talk about it. I would love to hear your story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you will know when I post my videos. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye.